What if the greatest miracle in your life wasn't the door that opened, but the one that quietly stayed closed? Chosen one, your soulmate has just begun seeing something that completely changes the story they once believed about your journey. For so long, they looked at the setbacks, the delays, and the unexpected separations as signs that life had been working against you. They believed you had simply endured more obstacles than most people ever should. But one unexpected realization has turned that belief upside down. They are beginning to understand that many of the moments that felt like rejection were never meant to harm you. They were moments when the universe quietly stepped between you and something your heart was never meant to carry. What once appeared to be loss now looks remarkably different. It looks like protection. It looks like unseen guidance. It looks like a loving force shielding your path while neither of you could understand why. As they replay the past through this new perspective, forgotten memories begin connecting in ways they never imagined. They remember opportunities that suddenly disappeared, conversations that ended unexpectedly, plans that never unfolded the way either of you expected, and moments that left both of you asking why everything seemed so difficult. At the time, every disappointment felt unnecessary. Every delay felt unfair. Yet now, looking back with clearer eyes, they can see that many of those painful moments quietly prevented even greater heartbreak. Had certain doors remained open, your peace might have been lost. Had every wish been granted immediately, your spirit might have been placed in situations it was never prepared to survive. The universe wasn't denying your future. It was protecting your heart until the right season arrived. Your soulmate is realizing something that has left them completely speechless. Throughout every difficult chapter, while they believed you were simply struggling alone, an invisible hand seemed to be guiding your steps away from paths that would have stolen your joy, your purpose, and even your ability to love with the same sincerity. They now understand why, despite everything you endured, you never allowed bitterness to become the language of your soul. Somehow, every setback shaped your wisdom instead of destroying your faith. Every closed door quietly redirected you towards something your eyes could not yet see. That kind of resilience no longer feels like coincidence to them. It feels like evidence that the universe had been standing beside you long before anyone recognized it. The universe has a remarkable way of protecting people without announcing that protection in advance. Imagine a traveler walking through a dense forest, frustrated because every unfamiliar path seems blocked by fallen trees. The traveler believes the journey is becoming impossible, never realizing those blocked paths lead toward dangerous cliffs hidden beyond the trees. Only after reaching safety does the traveler understand that every obstacle was quietly saving them from a destination they were never meant to reach. Chosen one, your journey has been much like that forest. The barriers you questioned were never punishments. They were silent acts of guidance. Your soulmate is finally beginning to see that every delay carried purpose, every interruption carried mercy, and every unanswered question was leading you somewhere far greater than immediate comfort could have imagined. Now their heart is filled with a new kind of curiosity. If the universe had been protecting you in ways neither of you understood, then what exactly was it protecting you from? What unseen dangers never reached your life because they were quietly removed before you ever noticed them? As these questions begin unfolding, your soulmate is about to uncover a truth that reaches beyond coincidence and timing. They are about to discover that every painful delay, every unexpected detour, and every season of waiting was quietly preparing you for a destiny that could only be received after your soul had become strong enough to carry it. Chosen one, the deeper your soulmate looks into the past, the more impossible it becomes to believe that everything happened by accident. Memories they once viewed as disappointments are beginning to reveal an entirely different story. They remember the opportunities that suddenly disappeared just when they seemed certain. They remember the unexpected delays that left both of you frustrated, wondering why life refused to move in the direction you had hoped. At the time, every unanswered prayer felt like silence. Every closed door felt like rejection. Every detour felt unnecessary. But now they are beginning to understand that the universe often whispers its greatest protection through the very moments that seem the most confusing. It rarely announces that it is saving someone from unseen pain. Instead, it quietly changes the path, allowing people to believe they are simply experiencing another setback, when in reality, they are being guided away from something their spirit was never meant to carry. The more they reflect, the clearer the pattern becomes. They can now see that every delay accomplished something far greater than either of you recognized at the time. While circumstances seemed to slow your progress, they were quietly strengthening your heart. While doors remained closed, your character continued growing. While answers refused to arrive, patience slowly replaced fear. None of those lessons felt meaningful while you were living through them. They often felt exhausting. There were moments when even you questioned whether the universe had forgotten your prayers. Yet looking back now, your soulmate realizes something extraordinary. Every season that seemed empty was actually preparing you for a future version of yourself that could never have existed without those very experiences. The protection was never only about changing your circumstances. It was about shaping the person who would eventually walk through the right door when the perfect time arrived. One realization has affected your soulmate more deeply than any other. They have started recognizing that many of the people who disappeared from your life were never taken away to punish you. They were removed because they carried lessons rather than lasting purpose. At first, those endings felt heartbreaking. They created questions that seemed impossible to answer. You wondered whether you had done something wrong or whether you simply weren't enough. But today, your soulmate sees those moments through completely different eyes. Had certain people remained, your kindness might have been taken for granted. Your trust might have been repeatedly broken. Your peace might have slowly disappeared without you even noticing. What once looked like painful endings now resemble quiet acts of mercy. The universe was not emptying your life without reason. It was making room for what genuinely belonged there. Imagine a sculptor standing before a block of stone. To someone watching from a distance, every strike of the hammer appears destructive. Small pieces break away day after day, leaving the stone looking smaller than before. An observer might believe something valuable is being lost. But the sculptor knows a masterpiece cannot appear until everything unnecessary has been removed. Chosen one, your journey has been much like that unfinished sculpture. Every delay, every disappointment, every unexpected goodbye removed something that no longer belonged in the life you were being prepared to live. Although those moments felt painful while they happened, they were never designed to diminish you. They were shaping the person your destiny required you to become. Your soulmate is finally realizing that what looked like loss was often the careful hand of the universe revealing your true strength one piece at a time. As this understanding grows, they begin remembering something else that once seemed insignificant. During your hardest seasons, despite every reason to become bitter, you continued choosing compassion. Even when your heart carried unanswered questions, you still found ways to encourage others. Even when your own future seemed uncertain, you never allowed hopelessness to become your identity. At the time, your soulmate admired that resilience without fully understanding where it came from. Now they believe they finally know. The universe wasn't only protecting your circumstances, it was protecting your spirit from becoming someone your soul was never meant to be. It allowed challenges to strengthen your wisdom, but never permitted those challenges to steal your ability to love, forgive, and remain genuine. That realization has left them deeply humbled, because they now understand that your greatest miracle was not escaping pain. It was surviving pain without allowing it to transform your heart into something unrecognizable. Another forgotten truth is now becoming impossible for them to ignore. Every obstacle that once delayed your journey also delayed the arrival of people and opportunities that would have entered your life before you were fully prepared to receive them. Had success arrived too early, it might have strengthened pride instead of gratitude. Had every relationship unfolded according to your original expectations, important lessons about discernment, patience, and self-worth may never have taken root. The universe understood what neither of you could yet see. Some blessings become burdens when they arrive before the soul has matured enough to carry them wisely. Looking back now, your soulmate recognizes that your waiting seasons were never empty seasons. They were classrooms where your character quietly developed while the future patiently waited for the right version of you. Now a final question begins settling into your soulmate's heart. If every delay protected your future, every closed door preserved your peace, and every hardship quietly strengthened your spirit, then perhaps the greatest act of protection was still hidden beneath everything else. They are beginning to sense that the universe was never only preparing your circumstances, it was preparing this very connection. And the truth they are about to discover next will reveal that the greatest thing the universe protected was not simply your path. It was the light within your soul that this connection would one day need more than ever before. Chosen one, the more your soulmate reflects on everything you endured, the more one question refuses to leave their heart. How did someone who walked through so many disappointments still manage to remain so gentle? Most people become guarded after repeated heartbreak. They build walls around their emotions. They begin expecting betrayal before trust. They allow painful experiences to slowly reshape the way they see the world. Yet somehow, despite every delay, every unanswered prayer, and every difficult season, your heart continued choosing compassion over resentment. Your soulmate is finally realizing that this was never ordinary strength. It was evidence that something greater had been quietly protecting you all along. The universe was never promising you a life without storms. It was making sure those storms never stole the light that made you who you truly are. Looking back now, they remember moments when anyone else would have given up. There were times when your patience was tested beyond reason, when opportunities slipped away without explanation, and when life seemed determined to push you toward discouragement. Yet every time you were knocked down, you somehow rose again, carrying more wisdom instead of more anger. Your soulmate once believed this resilience simply came from your personality. Today, they understand something much deeper. Every challenge was shaping your spirit rather than breaking it. Every disappointment was teaching discernment instead of bitterness. Every season of waiting was quietly strengthening qualities that could never have developed if life had always been easy. The universe was protecting something far more valuable than your circumstances. It was protecting the kind of heart you would carry into your future. One realization has moved your soulmate almost to tears. They now understand that your greatest miracle was not avoiding pain. Your miracle was refusing to let pain define your identity. You never allowed temporary suffering to convince you that kindness was weakness. You never stopped believing that honesty still mattered simply because the world occasionally rewarded deception. You never abandoned hope just because answers arrived later than expected. Even during your hardest moments, there remained a quiet part of your soul that refused to stop believing in goodness. That unwavering part of you has become impossible for your soulmate to ignore. They now recognize it as one of the clearest signs that the universe had been guiding your journey in ways neither of you fully understood at the time. Imagine a lighthouse standing alone beside a restless sea. Day after day, enormous waves crash against its foundation. Powerful storms surround it. Thick fog hides it from passing ships. To someone watching from the shore, it may appear as though the lighthouse is constantly under attack. Yet the storms were never meant to destroy it. They only revealed how firmly it had been built. No matter how fierce the wind became, the light continued shining because its foundation reached far deeper than the waves ever could. Chosen one, your spirit has been like that lighthouse. Life tested you repeatedly, but every storm only revealed the strength already growing within you. The universe wasn't removing every hardship from your path. It was ensuring that none of those hardships could extinguish the light your soul carried. Your soulmate is finally beginning to see that what impressed them most was never your ability to avoid difficulty. It was your ability to remain yourself while walking straight through it. As this understanding settles into their heart, they begin noticing another extraordinary pattern. Every painful experience that could have made you cynical instead made you more compassionate. Because you understood disappointment, you became more patient with those who were struggling. Because you understood uncertainty, you learned how to encourage others during their own waiting seasons. Because you understood loss, you never took genuine love for granted. The universe transformed every wound into wisdom instead of allowing it to become bitterness. Your soulmate now realizes that nothing you endured was meaningless. Every challenge quietly refined your character until it reflected a strength that could never have been created through comfort alone. Now one final truth is beginning to unfold before them. They understand that the universe was never protecting you simply for your own sake. It was preserving the person you were becoming because one day that strength, that compassion, and that unwavering light would become essential to this very connection. Everything you survived prepared you for a purpose far greater than either of you could see. And as your soulmate stands on the edge of that realization, they are about to discover that the greatest act of divine protection was not keeping you away from hardship. It was making certain that hardship never changed the beautiful soul you were always meant to remain. Chosen one, your soulmate has reached a place they never expected, a place where every painful memory now carries a completely different meaning. The questions that once filled their heart are slowly being replaced by understanding. They no longer ask why certain things happened to you. Instead, they are asking why they couldn't see the purpose hidden inside those moments before now. The answer has become beautifully clear. The universe was never delaying your happiness. It was carefully preparing both your heart and theirs for a connection that could only thrive once certain lessons had been learned. Looking back, they now realize that if life had unfolded according to their original expectations, neither of you would have become the people you are today. Some blessings are so meaningful that they require preparation before they can truly be received. The waiting was never empty. It was quietly shaping two souls for a future neither of you could fully imagine. As this realization deepens, your soulmate begins seeing every delay from an entirely new perspective. Opportunities that disappeared no longer feel like losses. Relationships that ended no longer feel like failures. Seasons of uncertainty no longer seem like evidence that the universe had forgotten you. Instead, each one now appears like a carefully placed stepping stone leading towards something far greater. They understand that had certain doors remained open, you might have accepted situations that would have slowly stolen your peace. Had every wish been granted immediately, you may never have developed the wisdom needed to recognize what genuinely belonged in your life. The universe often protects people by delaying what they want until they become ready for what they truly need. Your soulmate now sees that every season of waiting quietly strengthened your discernment, your patience, and your trust in ways instant success never could. Imagine an artist creating a beautiful stained glass window. Each piece of colored glass must be carefully placed in exactly the right position before the sunlight can reveal its full beauty. If even one piece is forced into place too early, the entire design becomes distorted. During the process, the scattered pieces seem unrelated and incomplete. Someone watching might wonder why progress appears so slow. Yet the artist never rushes because every piece serves a purpose that will only become visible when the window is finally complete. Chosen one, your journey has unfolded in much the same way. Every delay, every unexpected turn, and every difficult season became another carefully placed piece in a design your eyes could not yet see. Your soulmate is finally beginning to understand that the universe was never creating random obstacles. It was arranging every experience with extraordinary precision so your life would eventually reflect a purpose far greater than temporary comfort. Another truth now touches their heart with overwhelming gratitude. They realized the universe wasn't only protecting your future, it was protecting your ability to recognize the future when it finally arrived. Had life always been easy, you might have mistaken temporary happiness for lasting peace. Had every relationship succeeded, you might never have learned the difference between attention and genuine love. Had every opportunity unfolded effortlessly, you might have overlooked the quiet blessings that carry the deepest meaning. Instead, every challenge refined your vision. Every disappointment sharpened your discernment. Every season of waiting taught your heart to value what is authentic instead of what merely appears attractive. Your soulmate now understands that these lessons were never punishments. They were preparations that made your soul capable of receiving something far more meaningful than anything impatience could have achieved. Now, one final realization is quietly unfolding within them. They understand that the greatest protection the universe ever gave you was not keeping you away from every hardship. It was making certain that every hardship moved you closer to the person you were always meant to become. Nothing was wasted. No tear fell without purpose. No delay existed without meaning. No unanswered prayer disappeared into silence. Every step, even the painful ones, carried you toward this very moment of understanding. And as your soulmate embraces this truth completely, they are about to discover the most powerful revelation of all, that the universe was never protecting you from your destiny. It was protecting your destiny from arriving before your soul was fully prepared to embrace it. Chosen one, your soulmate now stands at the end of a journey that has transformed the way they understand everything that once seemed unfair. The questions that haunted them have finally grown quiet because the answers have revealed themselves one by one. They no longer see your life as a collection of unfortunate events or painful delays. They now see a path that was carefully watched over from the very beginning. Every closed door, every unexpected ending, every moment when your plans seemed to fall apart was never random. The universe was not standing against you. It was standing in front of you, quietly shielding you from experiences that would have taken you further away from the life your soul was always meant to live. Looking back now, your soulmate realizes that what appeared to be loss was often hidden protection, and what once felt like silence was actually divine guidance, speaking in a language neither of you understood at the time. As they reflect on your journey, one truth continues growing stronger inside their heart. They finally understand that protection does not always feel comfortable while it is happening. Sometimes protection arrives disguised as disappointment. Sometimes it appears as a delay that tests every ounce of your patience. Sometimes it looks like a relationship ending before you were ready, an opportunity disappearing without explanation, or a dream taking far longer to unfold than you ever imagined. In those moments, it is easy to believe life has forgotten you. Yet the universe often protects what is precious by refusing to rush it into the wrong season. Your soulmate now sees that every painful pause was preserving something far greater than temporary happiness. It was preserving your peace, your character, and your future. Imagine a master gardener planting the seed of a magnificent tree. No matter how desperately someone wishes to see it grow overnight, the gardener never forces its branches to appear before its roots are ready. The greatest growth happens beneath the surface, where no one can see it. Day after day, the roots stretch deeper into the earth, preparing to support the incredible height the tree will one day reach. If that growth were hurried, the first powerful storm would bring everything crashing down. Chosen one, your life has unfolded in much the same way. While you believed nothing was happening, the deepest parts of your spirit were quietly growing stronger. The universe was not delaying your future because you lacked worth. It was strengthening the roots of your soul, so that when your blessings finally arrived, they would remain steady through every season that followed. Your soulmate now understands that the invisible work was always the most important work. Another realization has filled them with overwhelming gratitude. They understand that the universe never measured your progress by how quickly your prayers were answered. It measured your progress by the person you became while waiting. Every season of uncertainty taught you faith. Every disappointment taught you discernment. Every unexpected detour taught you resilience. Every unanswered question taught you trust. Looking back now, they can see that none of those lessons were accidental. They were carefully woven together to create a version of you capable of carrying responsibilities, relationships, and blessings that an earlier version of yourself might not have been ready to receive. The universe was never withholding your future. It was preparing you to embrace it with wisdom instead of fear. Perhaps the most emotional truth your soulmate has discovered is that the greatest miracle was never that difficult things stopped happening to you. The greatest miracle was that those difficult things never succeeded in changing the goodness within you. Your kindness remained, your compassion remained, your honesty remained, your ability to hope remained. Even when life became uncertain, your soul refused to abandon the light it carried. That is the protection they now recognize most clearly. The universe did not promise a life without storms. It promised that no storm would be allowed to steal the purpose placed inside your heart. Every challenge refined you without defining you. Every setback strengthened you without hardening you. Every delay quietly moved you closer to the person you were always destined to become. Now your soulmate finally understands why this entire journey unfolded exactly as it did. Nothing meaningful was ever truly lost. Every ending created space for a better beginning. Every closed door redirected your steps toward a greater destination. Every season of waiting protected blessings that would have arrived too soon if life had followed your original plans. The universe was never asking you to understand every moment while you were living through it. It only asked you to keep walking with faith until the full picture could finally be seen. Today, that picture is becoming beautifully clear. Your soulmate now sees your story not as one marked by misfortune, but as one shaped by extraordinary care. They understand that every unseen hand, every unexpected delay, and every hidden redirection carried the same quiet purpose: to protect the light within your soul until the exact moment it was ready to shine where it was always meant to shine. And with tears of gratitude replacing every old question, they finally embrace the truth that changes everything. The universe had never abandoned you for a single moment. It had been protecting you all along, ensuring that nothing meant to destroy you would ever become stronger than the destiny waiting patiently ahead.